Hey, what up, though, guys? It's your man Dale again. I'm with another episode for you. Now, if you remember from the Yellow House, the Helen Rehab House, remember I said that I had purchased two properties. At the same time, I was going to leave the Yellow House and then start going to work on the next house. This was the next house. This was the house that was purchased by the investor before I actually even started on it. Now, I'm going to tell you why this was like one of the worst things that I could have possibly done. I purchased this one for 2,500. The projected rehab was $10,000. I thought that I was gonna pretty much have it done in like 3 to 4 weeks. So let's give it a month, because the guy that I was supposed to be working with, man, we could knock some stuff out. The guy like one helper too, and with us, man, we had this thing done in no time. Um, and the guy had pretty much gave me a check for $18,500, like right up front. So I was looking at possibly making, like 6 grand on the deal. Uh, with all of the headache I went through, it's like, well, you'll see. Okay, well, again, this is pretty much how the property looked after we were completed with it or finished with it. But this is how it looked when I found it. It was pretty bad. There was actually a leak right in the front, which actually caused all of the insulation up there to become soggy, and then it just kind of like, as you can see, just caused the ceiling to fall in, and it was just all nasty. They had stole the tub out of it. I mean, they had broke the drywall, stealing the wire out of. They did that throughout the house. The ceiling paint was falling. The fireplace. The tiles was missing. I mean, it was pretty bad. And that window, um, over here, had the little sliding glass piece. So there was one over here, and there was supposed to be one on the other side, but the one on the other side was missing. So we had to replace this entire glass, which was pretty expensive. As you can see, this was the kitchen. I had guys come in, just demo all of that stuff for me. Um, this is kind of like the construction, taking place here. We had to cut a large portion of the area out because it was damaged. The insulation was all wet and nasty. So we had to pretty much bag that up and get it out of there. This is pretty much the patch up job. Prime. Again, this the bathroom. This is the picture of the tub. I had never put a tub in before. I'm like, man, how am I going to get this tub in here? So I tried. I couldn't get the tub in there. It seemed like the tub was placed in there first, and it seemed like the tiles were built around the tub. I thought, like, man, you know what? So I'm gonna have to take these tiles out, put the tub back in. So that's kind of what I did. I broke out all of the tile. This was where the tub was back here. The tub sits right there. So as you see, all of the tubs are there. All of the tile is like right there broken. This is the inside of one of the bedrooms. On the other side of these studs is where the tile was. You see the vanity with actually like sits right here. Um, so we broke a lot of that stuff out. Here's a better look up at it from the other side. This is actually this this wall right here in one of the bedrooms. That's what this is. This is the once we drywall everything. This is how it ended up looking. Um, and once we painted that area, remember the ceiling in this area was had fallen, and all of the all of this was exposed. It's just rehabbing the bathroom here. This is we're going to go with like some tile. Actually put some glue down. This is the ring for the toilet underneath. They had stolen the entire stack. So that vertical pipe that you see in the basement, you have like your toilet running to it. You have like the pipe from your vanity running to it. They had stole all of that. So this was my first time actually having to replace that. So this was a real experience for me. So all of that was brand new as well. Now this is a little more rehab picture. Um, so bathroom area, and notice the fireplace here. So the kitchen is nasty. And so as you can see, it came along, turned out really nice. Um, I went over $8,000 on this deal. I'm just trying to tell you all of the mistakes that I made with this particular deal. The guy that I was telling you about, who helped me work on the majority of my projects. When I was working on the Yellow House, he was like, okay, well, I'm going to go over here. I got another job in a week. I'm going to be over there and help you with this house. So I'm all right, cool, no problem. I can pretty much do things. You're going, no problem. So what ended up happening was he's like an old school guy. Some of these new contractors, they're like, I'm gonna get this project going over here, and then I'm gonna leave here, go over here, do this project for a few hours, then leave here and then go do this project. So they had like 4 or 5 projects going on at one time. He's not that type of guy. He's the type of guy to where it's like, okay, I'm going to stick with you until all of your projects are done, and then I'll move on to someone else's project. But he's also a great craftsman, so he's very sought after. That's why I like to work with him too. I like to work with the best people. He was supposed to be doing one job with this guy that was supposed to take a week. Then once he finished that job, the guy asked him, could you do another job? Then to another. This went on for 2 months. You know what I'm saying? This actually went on actually for like a month and like probably about a month and a half. Here I am. I'm working 10-hour days at my job, my physical construction job. Now I had already sold this house, so I'm getting off of work at 4 o'clock, getting over here around 4:45, working from that time until 9 o'clock in the afternoon or in the evening. I did this Monday through Friday. Then on Saturday and Sunday, I'm working 12-hour days over here at the house. Now, during this time, my daughter was actually born. So, I was actually able to, I just shut the construction down for one day, went to see my daughter be born, spent the night with her. The following day, went back to this rehab because I had already sold it. This went on for 2 months. I was being pressured because the guy that bought it, he was like, man, what's taking so long? I need for it to be up and running because this guy's he's used to having properties completed in like a 2 week period of time, and here it is like 2 months. He's kind of like, man, what's going on? So and it was terrible because, like I say, my daughter was born, and I was going to I would go to pick her up because my little baby girl. I would go pick her up, and she would start crying like I was a stranger. I would pretty much I would only be able to hold her. I was pretty much only able to pick her up and pretty much like hold her for that little bit of time before I handed her to her mother because she didn't know who I was. I was a stranger to her because I wasn't spending that much time with her. This was the fourth property that I didn't even hold on to. I flipped it, and all of that pain and all of that time that I dedicated to this property, it pretty much messed me up. I actually, after this property, I didn't even like working on houses. Though I could have gave them a half done project, like, okay, well, y'all money exhausted, y'all finish the rest. That's not the way that I am. So, I actually came out of my pocket by $1,000 to complete the rehab. So hopefully you're able to learn something from my lesson. Sometimes things don't work out. You watch those HGTV shows, things always pop up. They always budget for a certain thing, but then they start knocking down walls. They're like, oh man, there's a hole. And it always end up costing more money. Sometimes if it costs more money, and you're not indebted to anyone else, you can just like, okay, well, I don't have the money right now. I'll just put that on hold for a minute until I get the money. Then, so that's how you could have done it. That's how I should have done this one. Not even sold it, just like, what, I don't have the money to fix it up right now. I got rental properties. Let me just collect a few months of rent, and save some of my money that's coming from work, and then pretty much like put it in and fix the house up. That's what I actually should have did. Hindsight is 2020, but I thought I was about to make 5 or 6 grand, what I'm saying, which was more than I was making at work, in a month. Didn't work out like that. Lesson learned. Hope you don't have to experience anything like that. Hope you can learn from my lesson. Mark Twain said, hey, you learn from the lessons of other people because you won't be here long enough to make them all yourself. So hopefully this advances you a little bit more. Until next episode, take care.